Today we are taking a look at HIMIKO Toga from My Hero Academia. This is the HIMIKO Toga II figure in the Glitter and Glamours line by Banpresto. My Hero Academia is a superhero series set in a society where special abilities influence the lives of heroes, villains, and students training to become professionals. Within that story, HIMIKO Toga is known for her playful manner, intense emotions, and unpredictable behavior. Her cheerful energy and dangerous personality give her a very distinct presence in the series. Today's highlights for this figure are the wide smile, the detailed school uniform, and the raised arm pose that carries movement through the entire figure. The first highlight is the smile. The mouth opens broadly across the face, with separate upper and lower rows of teeth, several sharply pointed teeth, and a recessed red interior. The half-lidded yellow eyes, the short lines beneath them, and the pink lines across the cheeks all direct attention toward this expression. The second highlight is the school uniform. The navy sailor collar, inner chest panel, red scarf, beige cardigan, and navy pleated skirt are arranged as clearly separated layers. Details such as the collar stripes, buttons, pocket openings, ribbed cuffs, ribbed hem, and individual skirt folds continue across the outfit. The third highlight is the pose. Both elbows open outward while the hands are held beside the ears, allowing the arms to frame the head. The slight turn through the torso and the different angles of the knees and shoes continue that movement from the upper body down to the feet. This channel brings you figure reviews and anime merchandise updates straight from Japan. If you enjoyed this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. The face is shaped around a wide open smile, with a smooth curve running from the cheeks down to the chin. The yellow irises contain narrow black pupils, while the heavy upper eyelid lines and extended outer corners give the eyes a half-lidded shape. Her gaze angles slightly upward, and the short dark lines beneath the eyes reinforce the expression. Thin pink lines cross the cheeks diagonally and lead attention toward the mouth. The mouth stretches broadly across the face, with the upper and lower rows of teeth formed as separate white sections. Several sharply pointed teeth sit within those rows, while the red interior is recessed farther back to create depth. The corners of the mouth extend deeply into the cheeks, so the smile remains clear from the front and from angled views. The small raised nose stays simple and does not interrupt the connection between the eyes and mouth. The hair is divided into layered bangs, long face-framing locks, two gathered buns, and smaller strands spreading around them. The bangs split into multiple pieces and stop at different heights above the eyes. A long lock curves beside the mouth and turns upward at the tip, while shorter sections overlap around the ears. Each bun has a rounded center with hairlines running across its surface, and pointed strands overlap around the outside. Narrow loops and short projecting pieces spread from the buns, while the hair at the back flows outward from the center and gathers near their attachment points. Several short ends remain at the nape, creating a clear boundary above the sailor collar. The upper body is posed with both arms raised, with the elbows opening outward and the hands held beside the ears. The line from each shoulder expands through the upper arm and then moves inward from the elbow to the wrist, allowing the arms to frame the head. The fingers curl inward and the hands emerge clearly from the wide cuffs. Each wrist bends slightly inward, leaving a narrow gap between the hands and the surrounding hair. A navy sailor collar rests over the shoulders, with two pale stripes following its outer edge. At the front, the collar descends diagonally and meets near the center of the chest. A separate navy chest panel sits inside it, divided by three short, pale horizontal stripes near the top. On the back, the collar spreads into a broad rectangular section, and the paired stripes continue around its border. The red scarf emerges beneath the collar and gathers at a central knot. Two ends extend from that point in overlapping layers. The front section sweeps outward in a broad curve, while the second section drops lower with an angled tip. This creates several directions around the center of the chest and clearly separates the scarf from the navy collar and beige cardigan. The cardigan continues from the shoulders through the chest and waist, with rounded buttons running vertically along the center opening. The front surface projects around the chest before narrowing gently toward the waist. Diagonal pocket openings sit near the outer sides, with their raised edges separated from the surrounding surface. The sleeves remain loose around the upper arms, and multiple folds gather around the bent elbows. More gradual folds continue toward the wrists before meeting the wide-ribbed cuffs. Matching ribbing runs around the lower edge of the cardigan and overlaps the top of the skirt. Across the back, diagonal folds move from beneath the shoulders toward the waist, while the sailor collar remains a separate layer above the cardigan. At the waist, the ribbed hem of the cardigan overlaps the navy pleated skirt, creating a clear transition between the two garments. The skirt separates into multiple folds beneath the waist and gradually spreads toward the lower edge. Near the front center, deeper recessed folds sit between panels that project forward, giving the short skirt a layered surface. Toward the outer edges, the pleats open at different angles, so the front and side sections do not all follow the same direction. The same variation continues around the back. Pleats of different widths descend from beneath the cardigan, and the hem moves slightly forward and backward from one fold to the next. From a low angle, the outer navy sections turn inward beneath the skirt, leaving visible separation between the overlapping edges. The skirt forms a distinct boundary at the hips before the legs extend below it with space between them. The thighs narrow gradually toward the knees, where the rounded kneecaps connect into the lower legs. One leg bends slightly and moves closer to the center of the body, while the other opens outward and extends farther forward. Because the knees and toes are set at different angles, the lower body carries a gentle turn from the waist toward the feet. The spacing remains wider through the thighs before the legs continue in separate directions below the knees. Dark navy knee-high socks cover the lower legs, with their upper edges crossing just beneath the knees. At the ankles, the socks continue into the openings of the brown loafers, where the raised shoe edges surround them. Each loafer includes a horizontal section across the instep and a rounded front panel below it. A thick border follows the toe area, while the side profile steps down through the sole into the low heel. Shallow lines across the instep follow the bend of the foot and help define the direction of each shoe. The different shoe angles complete the movement that begins at the hips and continues through the knees. This figure is approximately 22 centimeters tall. That's about 8.7 inches. For size comparison, here's a 350 milliliter can. That's about 12 ounces in the US. Overall, HIMIKO Toga by Banpresto stands out because this figure combines a wide smile, her school uniform, detailed gathered hair, and a raised arm pose that guides the eye naturally across the entire piece. The face creates the strongest first impression. The yellow eyes are half-lidded, the short lines beneath them add emphasis, and the pink lines across the cheeks lead directly toward the open mouth. The separate rows of teeth, sharply pointed teeth, and recessed red interior give the smile clear depth from several angles. The hair supports that expression with several distinct layers. The bangs descend in separate sections above the eyes, while the long lock beside the mouth curves inward before turning upward at the tip. The two gathered buns are surrounded by pointed strands, narrow loops, and smaller projecting pieces. At the back, the hairlines move outward from the center and gather near the buns, with short ends remaining above the neck. The upper body works well because the uniform layout and the pose remain closely connected. Both elbows open outward while the hands are held beside the ears, allowing the arms to frame the head. The navy sailor collar, separate chest panel, red scarf, and beige cardigan remain clearly divided through their edges and overlapping layers. The buttons, diagonal pocket openings, loose sleeves, ribbed cuffs, and ribbed lower hem continue the uniform detailing across the torso and arms. The lower body continues the uniform through the navy pleated skirt. Its folds open at different angles around the front, sides, and back, giving the hem a varied outline. One leg bends closer to the center while the other opens outward, so the knees and shoes follow different directions. The dark navy knee-high socks lead into the brown loafers, where the instep sections, rounded toes, thick outer edges, soles, and low heels complete the feet. What makes the figure especially effective is the way these elements connect. The eye can move from the upward gaze and wide smile through the red scarf and cardigan, and then down into the pleated skirt and angled legs without the flow being interrupted. The arms frame the head while the different leg directions widen the lower silhouette. Because of that, fans of My Hero Academia or HIMIKO Toga will likely enjoy this piece very much. Collectors who like expressive faces, detailed school uniforms, and energetic standing poses should find it a very satisfying addition. That's it for this video. If there's any part of the figure you liked, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.